Welcome into Grid Vision on this beautiful Tuesday night for some more Spartans Masters Series action from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We've got Gage Swan in the booth standing side by side with me tonight. First time that I'm going to be announcing with my good buddy here. I'm Austin Edstrom standing alongside Austin Derbyshire in the production booth as always. Gage, I'm super excited to have you along this week for the Spartans Masters Series. Thank you for filling in. Homestead-Miami, though, what kind of experience you got around this place, and what are you expecting for the race tonight?
Well, I've got a little bit of experience coming around this track. I've been able to run it a couple times in the sim, but this track is a lot tougher than it looks. A mile and a half, pretty intermediate track, but we've got a few tips for the race as far as it goes for the drivers tonight. As you can see on the map there, the track, it looks pretty big. It's not as big as you think. The corners are pretty wide. It's pretty multi-groove racing, so hopefully we can see these drivers hop from lane to lane. Some should drive up top, some might drive in the middle. I don't think we'll see too many people down low, but I think it'll be interesting to see. Now, for the keys to the race, the first key to the race that we have is lane management equals tire management. Some of these lanes are going to absolutely degrade all of the rubber off your tires, but some of the other lanes won't. So it's really going to be give or take. Let it live is our second key. If you can control what lanes you're running in and run relatively fast while not burning rubber off your tires, you're going to be in a phenomenal position tonight, because some of these lanes are going to absolutely, like I said, degrade your tires, some are not. If you can get going and pick the right lane and run in the right lane, you can make those tires last. The last key to the race is under green, pit last. The last person off pit road under green flag stops is going to have the best tires, obviously, because they have pitted the most recently. But that's going to be the best in terms of the long run. You want to try to let those tires live as long as possible. You want to run the right lanes. And if you can be the last car on pit road, you're going to be in the best shape come the end of the race.
You know, certain racetracks, I feel like you might not want to be the last one to pit, especially in this next-gen car, because, you know, it's only one groove. It's impossible to pass, even on newer tires at some places. But here at Homestead, worn-out, old racetrack, multiple lanes to work around other guys, so it makes a lot of sense, that last key. This racetrack, pit last, you're going to have the newest tires, you're going to fly through the field, and you're going to have a lane on the racetrack to make it happen. But we're going to move into our broadcast picks now. Up first, myself. It's my second time picking this guy this year. But I'm feeling pretty good on Devin Maines, the number 5. He's been really quick this season, and I don't know about his mile and a half pace, but I think Devin is going to give it a run for its money tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick tonight's pole sitter, Johan Seminario. He won last week. Those 1-sim cars have been fast all season. I think he gets it done tonight.
And our producer, Austin Derbyshire, is going with PB Henry in the number 25. I like that pick. PB's been pretty solid in most of the races that we've seen him in recently, whether it be officials or the Spartan Master Series. So I like that. I like that offhand pick from our producer there, and we're spreading the love around here in the broadcast booth this time. Typically we get the Derby double up, but no Derby double up this week from the Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Spartans Master Series. Overcast conditions, obviously nighttime, 77 degrees out here, not very hot whatsoever. So, you know, you would think there'd be a lot of grip in the racetrack, but I could imagine, especially on the cold tires, it's going to be pretty tight coming out of these corners. We could see maybe some people down on the bottom washing up, getting in the gas a little bit too early, and causing some issues on the initial start here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what lanes we see these drivers run. Obviously, like we talked about in the pre-race, the keys to winning this race, these lanes and the lane management and what lane you pick and drive in is really going to determine a lot, just because of the tire wear. And like we said, those guys, when it comes to green flag runs, the last person off pit road is going to be in the best position to win this race.
All right, well, the drivers are starting to grid up here, and we are getting ready to race from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Qualifying is done and dusted, and Johan Seminario is up on the pole running at 32.403. Justin Levine on his outside, his teammate about half of a tenth of a second behind. Jarrett Veltman on the inside of row number 2 in third. Jeffrey Oakes on the outside in fourth. Corey Saucier is going to be lining up in the 5th place position with Greg Wachinski on his outside in 6th. Kyle Westwood and Chad Kibbe make up row number 4 with Kaylin Mitchell. And my pick, Devin Maines, in the 10th position.
Row number 6 is going to have Chris Vincent and Jordan Sailors. Row number 7, we're going to get Nicholas Schell and Charles Van Schaik. Row number 8, we're going to have PB Henry and Scott Schroeder. Jake Hickson, Corey Moore make up the 17th and 18th positions. And then Joseph Causey and Chase Johnson are going to fill up that 10th row.
We got to fly through the rest of these, so I'm going to take it from here, Gage. Timothy Babcock in 21st, Jeff Chandler in 22nd, Robert Vesaw Jr. in 23rd, Alan Phillips in 24th, Tom Ringer in 25th, Kenny Powell 26th, Daryl Klotz 27th, Chris Hudson 28th, with Colby Jackson and Kevin Zosiak rounding out the top 30. Sammy Harrell in 31st, with Dakota Jorgensen in 32nd, Cameron King in 33rd, David Salter in 34th, Mark Sanchez lining up in 35th with Chuck Burley in 36th, Art Nicotera in 37th, James Staples in 38th, Jay Salmon in 39th place, with Cody Curran rounding out the top 40. The rest of the field is going to be Evan Ethel, Wesley Woods, and on the last row, all by himself, is going to be Kyle Gerlach in the 75. Going back up to the front of the field, iRacing pace car is getting ready to pull off down to pit road for the first time tonight. Johan Seminario, your pole sitter, coming up to the green flag for the first time. The green is flying, and we're racing from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Seminario easily to the race lead on the first start. In the first start, where, whenever you start the pole, on the other restarts, it's better for you. But on this initial start, that second place guy's got a good chance. But his teammate, Levine, did not put up a fight. Levine able to hold on to second, but Johan easily clear to the race lead and into the clean air. Jarrett Feltman way up to the outside, already to the fence. So lane management equals tire management. This might be a little early on the tires to go all the way to the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see towards the back of the field, we've got some guys 3 wide. Lots of battles going on back there, but Jarrett Feldman is trying to let this top rip early on in the race here on lap 2, trying to get to the outside of Justin Levine. He's going to have a huge runoff coming down the back straight. As Johan Seminario is going to block that off. I think he got a little bump there from Jarrett Feldman.
A little bit of a snake down the back straightaway at Homestead-Miami. Some tight racing further back throughout the pack, but Feltman, these guys on the inside saving tires. Jarrett Feltman is saying, no way, Jose, I'm going up here taking this race lead. Give me these laps led on my tally. Jarrett Feltman to the race lead as we funnel down to turn 1, working lap number 3 here at Homestead, and the caution's out. Somebody off at turn 4, I believe, is spun around. Colby Jackson with a lot of damage.
It's going to be
Sammy Harrell coming into 1. Colby Jackson's already on pit road with right front damage. I imagine, I don't know if it was a different incident. Yeah, it looks like it was something different for Colby Jackson, but Sammy Harrell coming down the front straightaway had some type of an issue. That was just so late down the straight. See him coming down to turn 1. Oh, offset 3 wide just about. 41 comes up, makes contact, and Sammy Harrell catches the short end of the stick, even though I feel like he didn't have anything wrong with it, and that's an ARCA break right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, just offset 3 wide. Not much you can do there. Just got to make sure your spotter gets you the right call. And it looks like they just kind of coast up. Someone looks like he stuck the nose in there. Was there, obviously, but just unfortunate there for Sammy Harrell. The night he's having, and unfortunately that was an ARCA break.
We're used to those on iRacing, though, right? We're definitely adapted, or we've definitely adapted to them over the years here on iRacing. I mean, it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in a 43 car field. What are you? I mean, you're asking a lot. One guy somewhere deep in the field isn't gonna just not hit the brake pedal. At this time of night, man, we're all falling asleep.
Early enough in the race, so I think you'd expect differently.
Yeah, maybe. I might be making too many excuses for the ARCA braking. I would never. Definitely have never. Sarcastic. Gage, I'm sure you've definitely never done it, right?
No. Me, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, never.
I've never rode at the back of the super speedway and just plowed into a wreck. Never. Either way, though, are you surprised that Jarrett Feltman, who started third, immediately went up to the high side, being the only guy in the top, 7 or so that was really pushing the issue, trying to make speed? Because everybody else was pretty content with riding the bottom side. We know we've got one pit stop in stage 1. Are you surprised that we're seeing people not run hard? Like, we got one pit stop. You got to take a set of tires probably in the middle of it. Why would you not run pretty hard in this first stint? It's going to be a little bit shorter, only 32 laps.
To answer your question, no, I'm not really surprised. I think Johan and Justin, like we talked about, they have that knowledge. They know that the green flag runs here are just really going to be about saving that tire. And Jarrett Feldman just probably felt like, hey, if they're giving me the space in the room, why not just take? Give and take, get yourself out front, get yourself some clean air, and then maybe he felt like once he got out front, he could do the same that they're doing. Because we weren't really seeing it a whole lot. A couple of guys were getting up there into the top groove, but it wasn't a whole lot. And I like the decision from Jarrett Feltman. He got the lead pretty quickly, and we'll see him lead us back to green.
More specifically, I like the way that this caution fell for him. Right, he got the race lead, and then about 2 laps later, the yellow flag flew. So he didn't get the tires heated up all the way, right? These things are not, well into a run. And then immediately you're cooling them back off down to where everybody else's is. So he kind of gets to reset them, even though he ran them hard. He kind of gets a reset on the temperatures. We all know that the next gen is more temperature sensitive than wear sensitive. So I think that this caution fell at a great time for him. He could very well, shift down to the bottom now and save tire just as well as everybody else for the rest of the run. Will he do that? We're going to have to wait and see on this restart as the iRacing pace car is getting ready to pull down once again here, working lap number 6, coming to 7. Jarrett Feltman up in the race lead, coming to the restart zone, to the gas pedal, and back to the green flag. Jarrett Feltman takes us back racing, and it's a close race between the 12 and the 56, coming down to 1. Johan doing better than his teammate did on the initial start on the outside lane. Giving Jarrett a run for his money. Johan going for the race lead again, and it's tight between the two. Coming off the corner, almost contact. Feltman sideways, almost loses it off the corner. Levine gives him a bump down the back. They're side by side for third as Feltman is just holding the pack up, and Johan is skating away.
Yeah, they're going to be 3 wide coming back here for 4th and 5th. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. A lot of guys spread out, but Feltman did a great job saving that. Got a little loose coming off the corner. Johan is now your leader as here comes Corey Saucier and Justin Levine back here in 3rd. Jarrett Feltman back up to the high side to try and see if he can make it work again.
And he's going to. He's committed to it, and he's committed to running a little bit harder than Johan. Levine, a couple of these guys back on the bottom side of the racetrack are committed to running. Feltman back to the race lead just as quickly as he lost it. The number 12 absolutely utilizing that high side of the racetrack to its maximum right now. If he continues to be up there, he's going to gap these guys by second and a half, maybe even 2. But if that pit stop cycle doesn't come in time, he is going to drop through the pack very quickly.
It might not have been his plan to get loose there and lose a spot, but it gave him enough space to finally get back to the high side, which I think is where he's been wanting to run this whole race. It's where he's been running the whole race. So restarting on the bottom, under Johan, I think it just kind of worked out for him that he got loose there because he was able to get clear of everyone else after he saved it, and he got back to the top.
Got another guy ripping the fence. My race pick for tonight, Devin Maines in that number 5 car. He was absolutely rim riding through 3 and 4 that last time by. Not a piece of paper between that car and the wall. And, my goodness. He was flying off that corner, able to pick up a couple spots up to 4th. Maines started 10th. So that's how good that high side is, man. Able to make so many passes in the early going. How long can you hang on to it, though?
Yeah, as soon as you pointed out, Devin Maines goes back to the bottom in 1 and 2, and then again in 3 and 4. So I wonder if he might have made a little contact with the wall. You said it was pretty close.
Gets the track position, then just saves tires.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the plan for a lot of these guys throughout the pack tonight is get what I can while my tires are fresh and see what kind of track position I can pull off, and then let's start saving it for the long run.
That's what all the guys on the bottom are thinking right now. But there's a good line of cars now starting to form up on the top side of the racetrack, led by Chad Kibbe in that Jordan number 23. He's making moves up into the top 5 now. But as soon as they clear that top side, they get right back down to the bottom. Like I said, saving tires. Caleb Mitchell now in the 67, getting himself into 6th place around Corey Saucier. Now, does he go down to the bottom, or does he continue to go up here?
Maybe.
Oh.
As Johan's looking to the bottom under Jarrett Feldman into 3 and 4. Feldman's been running that high side. He's running a little bit lower than what we've seen him run so far. But what do you think? Do you think we're already seeing some tire wear? He did get a little loose coming off of turn 2 earlier, so.
I mean, this is an open setup league, right? So it's not like everybody's on the same stuff. Is this tire wear? Is this setup dependent? I'm shocked that he is under pressure running the top side this early, because you got to think we had a caution in there too. It broke it up to where this is not actually 13 lap screen, it's 9, right? So it's not like he's got laps on the tires. I think if anything, it's, if maybe he got loose and that's what kind of got Seminario up there. If it's not that, I got to think it's setup dependent, because there's no way that he's burnt off the tires in 9-10 laps.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this run plays out as Johan once again gets to the inside of Feldman, but Feldman does have the run off. Coming down the backstretch, looks like
our producer pointing out the difference in gear ratios in the cars, shifting at different points, also running different lanes on the racetrack. Could play a factor in when they're shifting down the straightaways, when they're downshifting in the middle of the corner, running the top side. Maybe you don't downshift an extra time, running the bottom. You're getting so out of the gas pedal before the braking zone. Maybe you just have to downshift that one extra time. You never know exactly with the gear ratio that you can run on this thing, how many shifts you got. A lot of different ways to run any type of big oval, the 1.5 miles especially with this next gen car with the 5-gear gearbox. Or 5-gear gearbox, even though I don't like it. It definitely opens up the strategy on how you get around this place.
Yeah, for sure. As we're seeing some of these guys trying to still make moves around the outside.
Whew.
I believe
Kyle
that
Westwood.
is the 92 of Kyle Westwood.
Saucier gives him the lane 2 down into 3.
Devin Main's back up to the high side. He's trying to fend off Kalen Mitchell here for P4.
And again, you got to pit in this first stage. We don't have 100% fuel. First stage is 65 laps. We're working lap number 17 right now. So you think these guys are going to about half pit it, lap 32, lap 35, somewhere around there in that range. When is the right time to do it? And because it's so short, because you're only running 30, 35 laps under green, how hard can you push it? Can you push really, really hard for these positions at some point? What's the limit on the tire wear?
It's a good point. As we see here, two wide battles for, I believe that is P4 and P6. Devin Main's trying to fend off Kalen Mitchell. And I believe that is Causey passing Chad Kibbe.
Oh, 3 wide.
Not Snickers Mobile. They are
just about.
Back
oh,
to
the wreck
oh, made some contact
Kyle
down
Westwood.
there.
Kyle Westwood gets spun in the middle of the racetrack. One other goes head on into the inside fence. Couldn't quite tell.
Caution is not out yet. We are still under green flag conditions here.
Jeffrey Oaks destroyed on the inside of the racetrack. Nosed it into the inside
going
wall.
Again.
I cannot believe that was not a yellow.
I can't either.
Westwood sideways in the middle of the
Westwood
racetrack.
And Jeffrey Oaks were involved in that, but as we jump back to the lead, Jarrett Feldman kind of pulling a little bit here on Johan Seminario and Justin Levine.
Well, both of them were on the apron, I guess, whenever they're sideways for the most part. But that was a big wreck down the back straightaway with no yellow flag.
Wow.
Unfortunate that it happens in the first place. Even more unfortunate to not have the yellow flag. Just Jeffrey Oaks, innocent bystander, getting caught out in the bottom. Had nothing to do with it. And, well, sidewall for you. That's a shame. I always hate that. You know, you're just running mid-pack, minding your own business, not really fighting. You go down to the bottom because you see some people getting crazy, and then for some reason they just keep it coming to the bottom.
Yep, that is part of it sometimes, and sometimes it's just how the dice rolls.
Kazi side by side with Kalen Mitchell inside the top 5. This is a battle for the 4th place spot. Kazi's been moving up from the back of the pack. He started in 19th. Kalen Mitchell in 9th. Both of these guys moving forward into the top 5 over the course of the night so far. Kazi, a bigger mover, and now side by side, taking the spot away from Kalen. How hard does the 67 fight this? On the outside of the racetrack, the preferred groove. Can he fend off that 88?
Yeah, and we're seeing something that we haven't really seen tonight back with Devin Maines. He's been running the middle to the outside the last couple of laps and is actually starting to lose positions, whereas for most of the race, we've really seen the guys on the outside gain positions. So as he gets in the wall there on entry. So we're starting to see, as he's in the wall again.
But we're starting to see, using the wall, and he's fast.
We are starting to see a little bit of tire wear, I have to say, but you're right, Jarrett Feldman's still out front.
Johan's quicker, though. 2 laps in a row, Johan's been a little quicker than Feltman up at the front. And Mitchell actually able to win out in that battle over Kazi for 4th. Maybe Kazi going with the switchback here. They already switched it back once, but they're still going at it. Kazi not willing to give this position up. And I think he's finally going to take it from Kalen Mitchell. I don't think Kalen can get the cutback this time. Maines might have been riding the fence again through 3 and 4. Maybe flirting with the outside wall just a little bit too much. Johan and Levine still trying to run down Feltman. Probably only 10 to 12 laps left in this green flag run. And I believe we're taking tires at this pit stop. I believe that's the better strategy. And, well, Feltman's still out in the race lead, and he's ran at the top the entire freaking run. So maybe the tire wear up there is not as bad as I originally feared.
Yeah, you got to think Jarrett Feltman's probably sweating a lot right now, as the 3 race winners out of the first 4 races this season are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all behind him. Those are the One Sim stable cars. So it'll be interesting to see, but they are all 3 gaining on him right now, as he has been running that outside pretty much since the flag has dropped green.
You got to think this first stage only running 30 laps. It's not going to be too bad on the tires, but going forward, you're probably putting 40 to 45 laps on the tires, and then that top side wear would really come in. And I think we're finally starting to see it come in now. Johan almost pull into the left rear down the front straightaway, just loses touch, but he's going to be close enough to go for the move down into turn 1. They're going to be side by side for the first time in what feels like forever. Johan down to the bottom, trying to take the spot from the 12, and it looks like he's got it done through the middle of the corner. He's going to clear Feltman, and Feltman's not going to go for the cutback. He's just going to stay on the top side. Next one through is going to be Justin Levine, still using the bottom side, trying to save the tires as much as possible. Feltman committed as ever to the top, and maybe too committed. Might have found the wall. Definitely got loose and definitely lost the spot. Johan, Levine, 1-2. Feltman back to 3rd.
And just like that, the inside is starting to prevail as we see Justin Levine jump to the outside. So maybe he's trying to make a move on Johan Seminario for the lead. So he's going to have a huge run coming down the backstretch.
He's got him sleeping down the back. Justin Levine to the inside. He's going to dive it down into turn number 3. Just slide across the nose. Easily take that from Johan. Can Johan get him back on exit? Levine has to slow up for the middle of the corner. Can he get the power down? Not a lot of power in these things, so you don't need too much time to kind of catch up on the momentum, and Levine able to do it and stay ahead of Johan. Well, maybe a little bit of an air bubble push there from Seminario coming off the corner. Maybe a little bit of grabbing gears from the number 1, getting that thing shifted down to maybe even 3rd gear coming off. And he's going to be able to take the lead. Like I said earlier, you know, coming down towards the pit stop, it's okay to go up to the top side and try to make some hay, because you've only got a couple laps left in the tires. Go ahead and use all the good out of them. And coming to lap 28, I don't think we've got too many left on this set of tires, and Levine has started to move up the racetrack ever so slightly, 1 lane up, and even further back throughout the field. A lot of fighting. 74 slow on the top side. Oh, that's a big checkup up top. Roadblock. Scott Schroeder was slow on the top side of the racetrack. Caught a lot of people behind him. Now the 15, Kevin Zosiak looking down to the inside. This is a battle back for the 29th place spot. Zosiak able to take it. They're side by side behind as well. Jay Salmon taking the spot from Shell.
Yeah, a lot of good racing back here in the back of the pack. But I think what we're going to start seeing is strategy come into play here. We are probably within anywhere from 5 to 10 laps of these guys coming down pit road and taking tires and filling that thing up with fuel and running it out to the stage.
Where the strategy matters the most is in this midfield. You know, what's your strategy if you're 10, anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds off the race lead? How do you improve your running position the most over the stage or over the course of stage 1? You know you're getting that caution at 65. So how do you position yourself to be running the best at lap 65? That's what you got to be thinking about. When do you put on the tires to make that the case?
Like we said in the keys to the race, you really want to be the last person down pit road. In your little gaggle of cars, the guys that you're battling on track, you really want to be the last person on pit road out of those cars, because what's going to happen is you're going to have pressure tires, and in the long run, they might be able to shortcut you a little bit and gain some time on you. But with a track like this where there's so many grooves and you can really move around, and with how the high side has kind of been tonight, it's really going to benefit you to be the last one on pit road, and you're really going to be flying come the end of the stage because you're just going to have those better tires.
So I agree 100%, except for this stage number 1, if you push it too late, then you're screwed because you're not going to have enough time to make use of the tires, right? To make up that advantage, or to use that advantage that you got and make up the disadvantage that you had from pitting so late, right? You've only gotten until lap 65. So if the guys you're racing hit at lap 45, you don't have enough time to wait another 3 laps. Like, you got to come in with them.
You're right.
So there isn't right timing in it in the first stage, but over the course of the last stage and multiple pit stops, I think you can kind of finagle it a little bit weirder. But we got a battle for the race lead. Johan Seminario down to the inside of Levine. Johan has stayed committed to the inside. Levine's been running the middle, and Johan's been just a little bit quicker, but he just cannot keep the nose side by side with Levine coming down the back straightaway. But coming into 3, Johan still fading a little bit lower. Levine committed to that second groove. Johan rotating the center of the corner a little bit better. Levine a little loose coming off. Can Johan get the run down the front straightaway? Just going to bump his teammate down the front, not actually make the move. Until we get down to the corner, Johan with the late dive down into turn 1. They're going to pull side by side with the 56. Slowing up a little bit more through the center of the corner. I thought that was our first pit stop, but instead it was a retiree. Instead, Kyle Westwood coming off, but obviously he was involved in that incident earlier, so maybe some damage repair. Sounds like we got another incident on the racetrack too that did not bring out a yellow flag. So we're going to pull up that replay here in just a moment. And here we go. Who might this be? Colby Jackson in the 37, coming down to turn 3, and maybe it's just him pulling off and quitting. Yep. Nice. That was a fantastic replay that we got of a Grid Vision car being a quitter. Good job, Colby. We appreciate that. But either way, Feltman. Oh, Levine into the fence.
Justin Levine into the fence. We've got a big race here for the lead as Johan ended up getting into the back of the 1 there.
Yeah, he didn't get down to the inside quick enough. It would have been a free pass for the race lead, but instead Johan got Levine unstuck out of the wall, out of turn number 4.
This
And
one
Levine
car
keeps the
is
lead.
really, really loose off of turn 2 and off of turn 4.
Oh, he's pushing it a little bit too wide out of the corner. You can just tell he's a little bit tight through the center, and I think that's giving him a snap loose coming off. But this time, Johan on the inside pulls even before we even get down to the corner. Levine tries to drive it in deeper on the outside, utilize the progressive banking on that second groove. Can he get the throttle down in time? Pinching the 56 down, trying to get the momentum. He gets it, but it's not going to be enough because the 56 has the side draft down the back, a little bit of door contact coming down to turn 3. These two racing just before the pit stop cycle is expected to begin. The 56 looking for the race lead before it starts.
Here's the thing. Here comes the 92 car of Kyle Westwood. He's 2 laps down. This is not a race for the position. He's going to get involved in this leader battle as Johan can't get to the bottom here in 1 and 2.
I think that's going to help Levine. Johan having to run a different lane than he's been using this entire time. Going to cost him a little bit of momentum. Levine able to get a little bit better run. I'm surprised Westwood didn't get past these guys. I think he's got newer tires, and he came up on them like a bolts of lightning, but he's letting them race it out for now. Levine's still on the outside, way up in the third lane. Johan just crossing grooves up to the top side of the racetrack, getting the side draft off on Levine down the front straightaway with Westwood coming up behind, trying to find a lane through on these guys without bothering the race for the win. Stage 1.
Levine and Seminario both getting loose as we finally have some of our first couple takers down pit road. Jared Feltman is on pit road, and it'll be interesting to see how that strategy plays out, as he was running P3 before he pit. So we'll see how that works out for him compared to Justin Levine and Johan Seminario, our current leaders.
I think Westwood's going to finally be able to get around the outside of Levine here to unlap himself, get himself down to 1 lap down. Levine getting compromised on exit a little bit, but it's not going to be enough for Johan to make a move down into turn 3. And we've seen some guys start to come down pit road already. When does the 1 and when does the 56 decide that it is their time? I think the 56 making it now. He's coming down pit road. 25 laps to go in stage number 1, and the second place runner on the bumper of the leader decides it is time to come down pit road and take 4 freshies.
Yeah, I think we'll see some reactions to that as we can see a couple more cars down pit road. Our very own Austin Derbyshire's pick, PB Henry down pit road. I believe that's Chris Vinson, Charles Van Shake also down pit road, and your pick, Devin Maines, as well. So we've got some takers. I believe here comes the 1, our current leader, Justin Levine. He's going to make his way down pit road, and it looks like most of our leaders have started to come down and take tires and fuel, as here comes those earlier guys off of pit road.
So Justin gonna be on 1 lap fresher tires than Johan Seminario. Our producers just pointed out we got a lot of 2-tire fire out there in stage number 1 on these green flag pit stops. A lot of people seeing, hey, we've only got 25 laps left to the end of the stage. How about I take 2 tires, cut 6 seconds, 7 seconds off of the pit stop time, and try to pick up some time out on the racetrack. And I can tell you from experience, 2 tires works for a little while. I think that it's a pretty good call if you try it, but the race leader's going with 4.
Yeah, and we did have some undercutting going on, as I believe Joseph Causey and Kalen Mitchell are ahead of Johan Seminario on track right now. So that's going to be, as there goes Kalen Mitchell past Justin Levine, Joseph Causey should be your leader once everyone gets through these pit cycle.
As we wait for the pit cycle to sort itself out, still just a couple guys out on the racetrack. Jake Hickson down pit road as we speak. Kevin Zosiak, Evan Ethel, Tom Ringer up in the top 3. Then it's the guys that have pitted. Joseph Causey in 4th. He's got a second on Kalen Mitchell back in 5th. Who's got another 0.7 of a second or so on Justin Levine, who's on the freshest tires. Johan pitted 1 lap earlier than Levine and still came out behind him. I imagine that's going to be the battle done and dusted for the stage 1 win for the 56. Unless the 1 has a little bit of an issue getting those tires up to temperature, he's not getting out of turn 4 very good. They're going to be side by side down the front.
Here's the thing with this battle. If Johan can't make quick work of Justin Levine here, they're going to have a real big problem coming towards the end of the stage, because Kalen Mitchell and Joseph Causey in front of them are being able to save tire right now, and these 2 guys are having to get the elbows out. Now, Johan is able to make quick work there, but these guys might not be racing for the stage win anymore if they end up racing themselves too much.
They've got 3 and 4 lap fresher tires than Joseph Causey, respectively, based on the positions they're running right now. So I think that they're gonna have it in the bag. I really do. I think they're gonna be able to get up there and get to Causey, unless Causey just stretches this thing out in the beginning and they oversave, because Johan's still 2 seconds off of Causey right now. I mean, that's a pretty big gap to make up in 20 laps, even with a 4-lap or a 3-lap fresher tire advantage. I don't know. I'm starting to talk myself into Causey might win this thing.
Yeah, and I think that we can't take Kalen Mitchell out of the equation here. That's another car that they have to get around. If they're going to get around, Kalen Mitchell might even be able to get back up there and see if they can't win this stage. But as we saw with Kyle Westwood, lap traffic can be a problem, and we are definitely entering a stage in the race and this green flag run where lap traffic is going to start becoming a problem for these guys. So can they not only get up to Kalen Mitchell and Causey, but they're going to have to make those passes. And I think that they've kind of understood the assignment, and they're not really racing each other too much right now. Trying to keep some rubber on those tires and see if they can't go get it towards the end of the stage.
34 of the 43 drivers still out on the lead lap, working lap number 47 of stage 1. Jared Feltman with a very good first stage, running in 5th. Our producer's pick, PB Henry, also great first stage, coming from 15th to 6th. Looking like a pretty good pick so far. PB moving up through the field. Right behind Chad Kibbe, about where he started. He started in 8th. He's running in 7th. And then we got my pick, Devin Maines, running in 8th, right behind. Up 2 spots with Corey Saucier running in 9th, down 4 right behind him. Further up, Joseph Causey, lap traffic like he talked about. There's one lap car Causey has disposed of, and that was pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty easy for Joseph. But the next one, Kyle Westwood, he's on way older tires, but he is fighting to actually stay on the lead lap. That last car he put down was already a lap down. Westwood might actually try to put up a fight.
Yeah, I'm going to say I believe Kyle Westwood is going to be, maybe we get shades of Ryan Newman here. He's going to be pretty tough to pass. After that earlier incident, getting involved in that wreck, has done a good job to get back to where he is. But, you know, I think he's going to do everything he can to try and stay on the lead lap here.
He's got 5 lap older tires than your race leader. So he is going to be a bit of a sitting duck. And he's got damage from that accident. But I guarantee he's going to at least try everything he can. And then next up, Evan Ethel. He's on newer tires. He was one of the latest guys to stay out. He might have pulled up the strategy perfect to stay on the lead lap. So Evan Ethel right in front. But Westwood actually running him down. So Evan having some issues. Maybe he didn't take tires.
Yeah, and just an update, Johan Seminario is making a move on Kalen Mitchell for 2nd right now, as our leader Causey is making his way through traffic. Kyle Westwood does get around Evan Ethel, but Johan making quick work of Kalen Mitchell, and you might be right, partner. Johan and Justin Levine. Oh my goodness, as Johan gets into the back of the lap car right there.
Man, it's been checkers and records for Johan this year, hasn't it?
I believe so. But here comes Justin Levine to the outside.
They're gonna have enough time, man. They just haven't cut the gap that significantly. It's only down to 1.6.
Not as much as we thought.
Oh, and Kayla's putting up a fight against Levine, side by side out of 4, really pinching him down. Levine not able to get to the gas. Still has a side draft coming down to 1. Can he make the bottom work on the much older tires of Kayla Mitchell? He's got the dirty air from Johan in front, but a big enough gap that I think he's going to be able to overcome the 67, who's going to have a roadblock. Evan Ethel on the top. Got to pinch these guys down, but they're both going to get by. Levine back up to 3rd. Can he run down Johan for 2nd, the guy that he was racing for the lead not too long ago? And can both of them run down Joseph Causey, who might just steal this stage away?
And just like we talked about, Kyle Westwood goes a lap down, but he was definitely a lot of trouble for Joseph Causey there. The leader could not get around him. It took him about a lap or 2 while Johan Seminario and Justin Levine were dealing with that mess back there with the lap cars and getting around Kalen Mitchell. But they finally get around, and they've got that 88 car in sight now.
They've got to be about a 1/10 of a lap faster per lap, right? We're coming down to 13 laps to go, and they are 1.4 tenths of a second off. Coming off of 4, that gap actually comes down to 1.3. So yeah, a 1/10 a lap is what they need, and then they need to pass them. So can Johan and Justin Levine get it done? Johan, 3 lap fresher tires. Levine, 4 lap fresher tires. It's going to be a race between the 3 1-sim teammates for the stage 1 victory.
Yeah, I really think that they're going to have to put the pedal to the metal here if they're going to catch Joseph Causey. But
they did a lot
making
that lap.
quick work of these lap cars, but I'm not sure. It's going to be pretty close coming to the end of the stage. Johan Seminario is
that was 4
down
tenths
right now.
That was 4 tenths that lap. Johan just, blitzed that lap. He pulled away from Levine by a couple tenths. and caught up to your race leader by 0.4 of a second. I mean, look, he's left Levine in the dust. He gapped him by 0.4, caught Kazi by 4, and now just 7.5 off with, what, coming to 10 laps to go? Johan right back in this thing.
Yeah, getting around Kyle Westwood in one corner was not what I expected from Johan Seminario, as Justin Levine does the same thing in 3 and 4. It was a struggle for Joseph Kazi to get around that 92 car, but both Johan and Justin making very quick work here as they are making up some ground. Johan Seminario only getting a 10th that time by, but we'll see what they can do. They've got plenty of time now, as I think you're right, partner. I think they're going to get there.
But you want to bet they all wreck each other?
I don't think that I'd make that bet tonight, at least not right now.
I could see
maybe later on in the race.
Have you seen how they've been racing each other in this league so far this year? I mean, every week it seems like they're bouncing off of each other. Kazi in particular.
Not for the stage. I think Kazi understands this situation and knows that his tires are not really going to keep him competitive in this battle, but as we're going back through the field here, Kalen Mitchell in 4th, PB Henry in 5th. Feltman, Jarrett Feltman still up there in 6th. Chad Kibbe, Devin Maines, your pick. I believe that's Chris Vincent and Corey Saucier rounds out your top 10, but here's a look at Jarrett Feldman and Chad Kibbe.
Seminario, he's gotten there. He's to the back bumper. He's on the outside. Can he get the run? Kazi's going to have to throw a block. He's going to do it. Johan back down to the bottom. Kazi fades low. He's going to give the side draft. Already some door contact. Before he gets to 3, really pinches him low. Gives him a huge hip check as we come down to the corner. And another bit of door contact through the center. The 56 shoving Kazi just out of the way, saying, buddy, you're not going to fight me for this spot. This is going to be my stage win. Kazi out of the way in second now. Levine having to try to find a way through, but Kazi not giving up. Back down to the inside. He's going to throw it down deep into 1.
Yeah, they were door banging all the way throughout 3 and 4. Looked like Johan Seminario got a little loose off the corner. Joseph Kazi not giving this up like I thought he would, as here comes Justin Levine around the outside. Kazi stays to the inside. They are offset 3 for the race lead. Kazi giving it his all right now, but Justin Levine sneaks around the outside, and Justin Levine takes the lead.
Oh man, Kazi pushed Seminario just to the point where he had to gas it up or else he was going to get turned. And that ended up making him gas it up a little bit too early. He had to get out of the gas for Levine on the outside, and Levine went powering by down the front straightaway to the lead. But Seminario using the outside in 1 and 2 to get a bunch of momentum, give a shot to his teammate down into 3, and look down to the bottom side as we're going to be side by side for the race lead once again. Can Johan get it back just as fast as he lost it? He's trying to pull the slider off of 4. He doesn't get him clear. Almost contact. Levine puts himself in the fence to avoid a wreck, and they're side by side for the lead again into 1.
This is unreal racing. These guys are getting into it for the stage. We've got 4 laps to go here, and I honestly have no idea who's going to win this. It's Justin Levine with a big run coming down the backstretch, and it looks like Joseph Kazi doesn't have anything for these guys anymore. So unless we see something crazy here, I believe it's going to be Justin Levine or Johan Seminario winning this stage.
Oh, Levine got loose. Levine with an issue through 3 and 4. He's just going to give the race lead right back. Doesn't even have the momentum down the front. Just a little bit of a pull up to the back bumper with the draft. He's going to have to find another way to get past his teammate here as we're working 4 laps to go in stage number 1. The stage ends as we finish lap 65. Levine finding some clean air down on the inside of the top side of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Getting a little bit of momentum once again right behind a lap car. Late duck out for Johan. A little bit later for Levine. He's going to fly down to the middle side of the racetrack. Just try to pinch the 56 down lower to get to the right rear, but he's not going to be able to do it. Just got on the throttle pedal a little bit too quickly, and the right rear did not settle for the driver of the 1. He's got 3 laps to go to do it again.
Yeah, that 3 car of Robert Basaw Jr. thought he was going to be a problem in 3 and 4, but both drivers made pretty easy work of him. And here they come off of turn 2. Johan Seminario with a pretty clear lead now, as Justin Levine, has he run out of options?
Oh, he goes for a late dive. Might make some contact with Johan that time. Not quite close enough. Might have overshot the corner. That could have been his last run at it. Coming to 2 to go. Levine with 1 lap fresher tires, but Johan with the faster speed at this point in the run. Westwood off of turn 4, just about loses it. Then he gets turned into Jarrett Feltman and then spins back down the bottom side of the racetrack. He saves it, but a lot of contact for guys in the top 10. Jarrett Feltman, Chad Kibbe, both with damage.
I can't believe that. Kyle Westwood, a lap down, makes contact with Jarrett Feldman and Chad Kibbe running 6 and 7.
Oh, the lead.
Damage. And
Levine side by side.
Lead. Levine on the inside of Seminario. There is a lap car right in front of them. This could cause problems as we're taking the white flag of the stage.
1 lap to go in stage number 1, and it's side by side for the race lead. Levine, Johan, 2 one-sim drivers going at it for the stage win. Both these guys race winners already this season, trying to add a stage to their tally. Levine down on the bottom side with the side draft, getting the suck down to turn number 3. He drives it in deep, down into the corner, out drives it, overdrives the 56. He slides up. Johan gets loose through the center, trying to pull the over-under. He might wreck it coming out of 4. He hangs on just barely as Levine comes across the line to win stage number 1.
What a finish to the stage. Oh my goodness. Justin Levine dives in 3 and 4. Johan Seminario tries to undercut him and go around. Gets loose down there. Hangs on to it. I mean, what a save from Johan Seminario, but what an even better move from Justin Levine to take the stage win.
And what a race so far. That was just for stage number 1. And your top 10, the point scorers of that stage. Justin Levine with the stage win. Johan with the big save to come home in 2nd. Joseph Ghazi with the strategy to come home 3rd. Caleb Mitchell 4th. PB Henry, what a run from him so far in 5th. Jarrett Feltman with damage. He limped that thing to the stage end, but he's going to have to get some damage repair down pit road and drop through the pack. Same with Chad Kibbe in 7th. Devin Maines in 8th. Chris Vinson in 9th place, and then Corey Saucier in 10th as we come down pit road for the 2nd time tonight. And we're going to go ahead and go to our first commercial break of the racing action. When we come back, we got the beginning of stage number 2.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Grid Vision, where we've got some more Spartan Masters Series live from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And well, stage one was an absolute banger, Gage. That was a heck of a way to start this thing. Hopefully stage 2 delivers just the same. Still 91 laps remaining whenever we come to the green flag. And Levine, your stage 1 winner, is your race leader.
The lights are off on the pace car. We are going to be going green. This time by your leader is Justin Levine, Joseph Kazi on the outside in second, Johan Seminario on the inside in third, Kalen Mitchell up there in that DeWalt 67 on the outside, and PB Henry on the inside is your top 5. As we're going back green here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Justin Levine leads him to the green flag.
Levine down to the green and easily to the race lead. He clears Kazi immediately. Obviously no teammate countdown on that one. Kazi just having to find a gap behind Johan coming down into turn 1. Joseph back to third, and it's side by side for fourth, and it's tight. Kalen Mitchell sideways, almost wrecks. He puts it into the fence to avoid spinning it down to the inside, and everybody scatters down to the inside, down the back straightaway to be able to avoid the 67 as Kalen Mitchell goes from fourth, plummeting back into the teens, maybe back to 20th.
He's not out of it yet. He's still top of 3 back there, as a lot of the leaders have kind of single filed out now. A lot of people made nice work of Kalen Mitchell there, as obviously he was up in the wall, but he's now on the outside, top of 2.
Oh, he's sideways again. Almost lost it out of two laps in a row. Caleb,
and there's
the
another
28
one in
goes
the back.
Spinning further back. He had contact as he went spinning, but it's going to be so far enough off the racetrack that we are not going to see a yellow flag for that. David Salter pointed the wrong way down the back straightaway.
A lot of action going on here on the restart, as we expected, with everyone packed back up. And we're going to see Jarrett Feltman ripping that outside just how we saw earlier, already making some moves, trying to get back into the top 5. As here we have our replay of that non-caution. Excuse me.
Yeah, David Salter down on the inside. Kalen Mitchell gets loose a little bit further ahead. Salter trying to get to the inside of the 41 and just loses it as they come over the crest exiting turn 2. The back end really gets light coming over the hill on the exit of some of these corners at the 1.5 miles. This is one of them coming out of 2. And well, Salter spun around the wrong direction. Tough way to start his stage number 2. But, you know, the guy that I thought was going to have a lot of damage repair and be back in the pack from that accident at the end of stage 2, well, he's flying up to the race lead. Jared Feltman using the outside just like he was doing in stage 1, going straight up to the race lead.
Using the advantage of his fresh tires while everyone else is saving Jared Feltman back to the race lead to get that track position. And we'll see how this goes as Joseph Kazi's on the outside of Johan Seminario for the 3rd position. These 1Sim guys, we thought that they were going to go into tire saving mode to restart, but here's Joseph Kazi. And as he makes contact with Johan Seminario, they're going to head towards the inside wall. Johan with a big hit on the inside wall. Joseph Kazi saves it. But wow, the pole sitter, Johan Seminario, is done for the day. That car parked on the backstretch. Oh, man.
Oh, he almost did it to himself at the end of stage 1, coming out of turn number 4. He saved it. But coming out of 2, maybe just a little twitchy, came up. Kazi not running the fence. And the 2 meet in the middle coming out of turn 2. The 56 destroyed.
That is what you hate to see, especially from teammates, as here we go into the cockpit view of Johan Seminario. Just not really much he could do as Joseph Kazi does come down the track. They make contact and meet in the middle, and, well, we did get a caution for that one.
Thing is with these cars, with how wide the tires are, you can make a lot of door contact. If you're up to the door, if your front bumper is even with the guy's front axle, make contact. Make all the contacts you want. You're really not gonna spin somebody out. You might move them up the racetrack a little bit, but whenever you're coming off a corner, like I just said, the back of the car is the lightest there, and then you have somebody's right front hitting somebody else's left rear. Doesn't matter how thick the tire is, even on these ridiculous next gen cars where the tire is wider than my waist. It's man, it is easy to spin a guy out like that, and well, that's what we saw.
So that is the pole sitter and last week's winner, Johan Seminario, pretty much completely out of this race after that incident. I don't want to get into it too early, but we're before halfway, and that might be a little commentator's curse. It was my race pick already out of the race. So
you're starting it out great. It's whoever is with me has the commentator's curse, it seems. I mean, dude, Sheldon yesterday in the Ryko race got absolutely hit with the biggest jinx I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the immediate, right as he said it, the exact guy lags out of the race from the race lead. And it was his race pick. Just unbelievable stuff. And now your first night here with me already. Your race pick. Down and out at the beginning of stage 2.
Yep, I had been waiting all night. I hadn't said anything, was trying not to continue the curse, but it looks like it never fails, as my pick from last night and my pick from tonight have both ended up on the back of a hauler.
How about Darby's pick for tonight? PB Henry's up in the top 3 now. Talk about
PB
a sleeper
Henry,
pick
top
from nowhere.
5 in the stage. Now,
yes.
Hey, check it out. PB Henry is 3rd in the race and 3rd in points. So let's not count the guy out. Very classy pick.
And look, Homestead is a place where you can do different things from other people to make speed. There's a lot of racetracks on this service where you've got to run the exact same as everybody else, especially in this car. Homestead, you can run some different lanes, make speed at different times of the run, and kind of give yourself some strategy options with it. And PB's been playing that to the max so far tonight. In stage 1, played the strategy right, got himself up to 5th, has had the speed as well. And then obviously, a little fortunate having 3rd and 4th wreck out in front of you, but sometimes it takes a little fortune to win. Just ask Joey Logano last week. Talk about of the most fortunate week in NASCAR history. PB Henry, maybe he's on the same stuff as Logano.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, PB Henry, 5th in the stage, is running 3rd, having a good night. And it looks like 2 of the competitors for the race win tonight have both just been taken out. So sometimes you need to be a little lucky.
You say taken out. One of them's still in it. Kazi is still in it. Only back to 14th. Didn't have to pit. So he's still out there. He's got a chance, but can he get back up to the lead even after that little half kind of spin, sliding the tires? Does he have what it takes?
I'll be interested to see what that 88 can do. But the lights are off on the pace car, and we're taking the green flag next time by.
Yep.
Justin
Jarrett
Levine
Feltman
is your leader. I'm sorry, Jarrett Feltman is your leader, not Justin Levine.
Yeah, Feltman lagging behind the pace car a little bit, making it a little bit difficult for us. But Feltman in that number 12 is your race leader as of now. Started in 3rd, immediately got himself up to the lead. Had some issues at the end of stage 2, but has managed to rebound and has used that top side all night to his advantage. It hurts on the long run, but man, if he gets these cautions at the right point, that 12 very well could win this race on that outside. But we're coming back down to the restart once again. Coming to lap 79. Jarrett Feltman, your race leader, to the restart zone. The green flag is flying. We're back to racing at Homestead-Miami, and Feltman easily to the race lead. Going to be side by side for 2nd. Levine does not have PB Henry clear as we go down to 1, but PB is just going to back out of it early. Henry, maybe on early tire saving mode. Oh, it's going to put
it
him
looked
pretty
like
wide,
PB Henry really wanted to get to the bottom, but Devin Maines with a big move around the outside, and that's going to put your pick of Devin Maines up into that 3rd position. As Chris Vincent gets really close to getting into the back bumper of Devin Maines, but Jarrett Feltman and Justin Levine gonna even out here as they are going to be single file for the first 2 positions. PB Henry coming back at Devin Maines, not going to give it to him that easily. And here comes
PB
Devin
flying.
Maines back around the outside.
Look at that run from PB Henry on the bottom of the racetrack. Somehow gets to the outside of Levine on corner exit, and PB Henry's going to fly through into the second place spot. Henry from 15th on the grid up to second. Man, he's got the clean air. He sees the race lead. Vincent trying to get into the battle for third behind as Devin Maines trying to get to the outside of Levine. He's not going to be able to do it. Gets the cutback coming off the corner. Late block from Levine side by side for third place into one.
Yeah, coming off the corner, Devin Maines had a huge run, and Justin Levine did slide up to control that, but Devin Maines is going to get around Justin Levine into 1 and 2. Levine kind of falling back here a little bit. Do you think he's saving tires, or do we think maybe he has something wrong with the car?
I definitely think a little bit of tire saving, but I think everybody's doing it except for PB Henry up at the front. Oh, he's definitely not tire saving as those rear ends line up coming out of turn number 4, just about losing the entire race car, but instead he's just going to fall back to a battle for second instead of taking the race lead. PB Henry went for it. He tried it. Didn't quite succeed as Devin Maines is getting his number 5 machine back into the battle for second.
Yeah, it looked like PB Henry was going to clear Jarrett Feltman coming off of 4 that time, but just got really loose coming off, and it allowed Jarrett Feltman to just drive off the corner, and Henry with a really good save. Didn't lose a whole lot of time, but he's going to stay in second, and Devin Maines back there in third. Justin Levine trying to get back at him here.
When it's a tight accordion down into turn 1, Levine was pushing Maines all the way down into the corner. Vincent was close, drove it in deep. Saucier even closer. Those 4 just about stacked up. Now it's Levine to the inside of Maines. Shoved them down into 1, now to the inside, out of 2, but it's not going to be enough as Vincent gets to the outside now of Levine. The train around the outside, down the front straightaway, or down the straightaways, preventing Levine from getting back up to the top side of the racetrack. If he's tire saving, he might be tire saving a little bit too much. PB Henry back to the bottom for the race lead a little bit further up. He's caught Jarrett Feltman up just as quick as he lost it before, and he's back down to the bottom of the racetrack, throws it in deep, and PB Henry is hooked up and flying right now. I mean, he passed Jarrett Feltman and put 0.3 of a second on him in one corner.
That was an incredible move from PB Henry. He absolutely sent that thing in there, and it stuck. I would like to see how those tires are looking on that car, because he has absolutely got that thing on rails right now.
I don't think we're seeing any tire saving out of the 25. I think he's expecting another yellow. And hey, whenever we've got 28 cars on the lead lap and we've got 36, maybe 37 still running, I think it's safe to say that you're expecting a caution is a safe move. Especially with the way that these guys are racing back further back in the pack.
Justin Levine has dropped to the 5th position as Chris Vincent and Devin Maines making their way forward. There's even more cars. This one gets loose towards the bottom. That's Corey Saucier as he's into the inside wall.
Saucier with a little bit of a rodeo going into the inside. Vince saw that thing skip up into the sky for a moment. Corey Saucier going for a ride off of turn number 4. Was riding in the top 10. Now probably massive damage on that number 18 Chevrolet. And he is falling all the way to the back of the lead lap as we get a replay here on Grid Vision coming out of turn 4. He's got the 43, Chris Hudson, behind him in a side-by-side battle, but the 18 coming off of 4, caught in between 2 seams off the corner, different banking on both. And then once you get on the apron, there's really no saving it. Catches a bump, skates up into the inside wall with the front end. Not a good hit to take.
Not at all. Looked like a stadium super truck coming off of a ramp before he hit that wall, but as we can see, we've got a race for second place. Chris Vincent trying to get down the inside of Jarrett Feltman, but Jarrett Feltman's just holding on to that outside line like he's been running all night long.
PB Henry, Chris Vincent not willing to save tires in the early going. Everybody behind is kind of a mix, right? I think Devin Maines goes back and forth between when he's saving and when he's not. Levine, I think, is hard saving. He hasn't left the bottom side of the racetrack. Phillips up top trying to make moves. And then everybody behind, it's kind of a mixture, but more leaning towards saving tires down on the bottom. They've had some racy moments, but it's not been too crazy. The guys that have been making all the moves, PB Henry and Chris Vincent, and now those guys, they're the guys running 1-2, if Vincent can complete this pass.
since the green flag has dropped, we do have Joseph Causey snuck his way back into the top 10. There he is. He's running P9 currently, right behind Chris Hudson and Greg Wachinski to see what he can try to do to get back up here and try and race for the lead.
Still some hard racing in the back of the top 10. Chris Hudson up from 28 on the grid up to 8. Alan Phillips from 24th up to 6. So some big movers up at the front of the field. Even the top 2 runners, they're from 15th and 11th. So these guys, a lot of comers and goers in the field tonight. The guy that qualified last is up to 23rd. So a good bit of movement throughout the field.
PB Henry's kind of checked out here. He's up to a 9/10 lead as we see some contact right there. Kalen Mitchell again, but it looks like he's going to get around him.
Kalen Mitchell not shy of contact, it seems. 3 wide on the bottom. Shove him out wide just a little bit. They did with the contact. Luckily, they were able to handle it, but the 41 and the 57 coming together, coming out of 4. Close moment between Chase Johnson and Daryl Klotz. They kind of get it sorted, but the 41 still stuck in it, top of 3. As we funnel down into turn number 1, these guys all fighting further back in the pack for about the 20th place spot. Chuck Burley looking to the inside of Klotz as the 75 is overtaking him. Gerlach gets by. That's the guy that qualified last. He's gotten himself up into the top 20. Good run from Gerlach as he goes defensive down into turn 3. Klotz settling for 21st. Most of the top 15 or so have kind of single filed out. Not too many battles throughout them. So we're going to go ahead
Got one
and
for
take
3rd place right now.
Yep, Justin Levine down to the inside.
Up to the inside of Jarrett Feldman. Once again, Jarrett Feldman just running that
Vincent.
outside.
Vincent sideways out of 2. Oh,
Wow, Levine almost cuts off the nose of Feldman, but he doesn't.
It's going to end up being a tight three-way battle for second here in a moment. I think Vincent is starting to struggle on the tires that he has used and abused at the beginning of this run. Levine running them down. Feltman, even though he's run the top, is starting to run Vincent back down. And Levine is flying here into 3rd place. But now as we're kind of single filed out in the top 10, we're going to go ahead and take our second commercial break of the racing action. When we come back, got a lot more Stage 2 coming at you live.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Spartan Master Series on Grid Division here tonight. Justin Levine flying up to the back bumper of Vincent, but Vincent also making inroads on the race leader of PB Henry. PB's led the last 20 or so laps, but he is under threat. Chris Vincent, Justin Levine, and even Joseph Causey, back from the dead, are starting to hunt him down.
Yeah, while we were gone at break, Chris Vincent, Justin Levine, and even Joseph Causey has really just run down PB Henry. PB Henry at one point had a 9/10 lead. It's sitting at 2, maybe just a little bit under 2, as they have finally gotten here. Justin Levine, I believe him and Chris Vincent have been saving tires, and I don't know that I could say the same for PB Henry or Joseph Causey.
Yeah, I don't know about Causey. I think he's done a little bit better job than the front two, right? PB Henry and Vincent went flying up to the front. And now they're side by side for the lead. Vincent has to lift Levine down to the inside as PB Henry skates away, still in the race lead. But now they're side by side for second. Levine, who is saved since the drop of the green flag in stage 2, is now on the attack down to the inside of turns 1 and 2 on Vincent for the second place spot. Looks like he's got the 33 cleared coming off the corner. Vincent doesn't have a big enough run to do anything about it. Levine up to second. Now he's got the race leader in his sights.
Justin Levine finally not going to the bottom, goes to the middle here in 3 and 4 as Chris Vincent is up into the wall.
Henry's pitting. PB Henry's pitting. All of a sudden in the middle of 3 and 4, hard brakes from the 25. Vincent found the fence. He might need to pit too from how worn those tires are, because him and Henry have just pushed these things to the limit. But as soon as Henry gets past for the lead, he comes down pit road. I like that strategy. I really, really do.
What a crazy corner that was. Chris Vincent into the wall. PB Henry, our first leader to really go down pit road for strategy here. We'll see what everyone else does and see if they want to react to that or not.
I guess I should say he wasn't getting past yet. He was about to get past. I like it, though. As soon as he got caught up with, he knows they need 2 pit stops at the end of this. They have 2 sets of tires left before this pit stop. PB said, you know what, I'm cutting this into thirds. We're pitting right now from the lead. It's a little bit different, but you're playing more of a calculated game with how many laps you're putting on each set of tires. Maybe let him push a little bit more on each set. And, well, it was enough pushing on the first set to get him out into the lead. So I'm liking the strategy from the 25 so far. Darby's pick might be coming in clutch.
Yeah, that strategy honestly could really work out well here, as no one has reacted to it yet. We haven't really seen anyone towards the top 10 go down pit road just yet, so we'll see how far PB Henry can get back up and see how far he can take that second set of tires.
Now the thing is, can these guys get to lap 115 or even 113? If you can make it to 113, 114, you might be able to make it to the end of this race on just the one stop. But Greg Wachinski's coming down pit road. He was running, I believe, in 11th place. So Wachinski deciding to call it quits. But if you can make it to about 114, you might be on the fringes of making a one stop happen. Do you try to push it if that's even a possibility? I don't even know if it is. You know, we're just kind of having to wait to see. But Causey, I mean, he's come from 15th on this restart after a slide on that caution. He's to the inside of his teammate that has saved the entire run for the race lead.
We've got another one down pit road. Chris Hudson and Chad Kibbe are both coming down pit road, as we've got a race for the lead. Joseph Causey, like you just said, he restarted 14th, and here he is for the race lead on the inside of Justin Levine.
Didn't quite get it. Got a little twitchy out of turn 2, peeking back down to the inside before we even get down into 3. When do these guys pull the trigger on coming down pit road? Causey way down the racetrack, thinking maybe he would come that time, but he stays out for one more go around Miami. Levine still out in the race lead, stretching out the gap a little bit down the front straightaway. He had a better run through 4. And Vincent on the newer tires, starting to try to unlap himself as Kenny Powell has decided to come down pit road. Chase Johnson follows him in as well, coming down to his pit box. Chuck Burley also getting service, putting on 4 fresh tires. Still 54 laps to go. Justin Levine coming through turns 3 and 4, coming to make it 53. Causey still staying out. Vincent coming back down pit road. Oh, into the tire barriers! The 33, he was a top 5 runner, and now he is down and out. No yellow flag has come out, but he has just destroyed that thing.
Shades of Kyle Larson. Chris Vincent just takes a tumble into those barrels entering pit road. As we've got some more takers, here comes, I believe that's Jared Feldman. Yes, it is. And Kalen Mitchell, Alan Phillips, all down pit road. What do we see from Justin Levine? He stays out. Here comes Joseph Causey down pit road as well. I'm interested to see, are we going to have any guys try to stretch it and do that one stop, or are we going to see the PB Henry strategy and see if they do a 2-stop here?
For some reason, I thought Vincent had already pitted and he was coming back down to serve a penalty, but he was running in the 3rd place position and just did not get to pit road right. I can't believe how twitchy that got on entry. That it overcorrected to the right and just never settled. That's a heartbreaker for a guy that was running in the top 5. Justin Levine coming down pit road from the lead now. As the caution flies, did he get in pit road in time? If that yellow flag flew right before he comes down on the pit lane, that's going to be a race killer. And it happened right behind him, Devin Maines.
Wow. I was going to say, I think that Justin Levine got on pit road in time. Here he comes off.
Oh, Kevin Zosiak pitted from the 3rd lane.
Will be interesting.
Here's Chris Vincent. Cockpit of Chris Vincent hitting the sand
barrels.
Sorry, I'm left speechless from this.
Wow.
We have seen a Quinn Half here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On the next
you don't
replay.
See that very often.
And here for the caution, the 15 honestly just pits from the 3rd lane in front of Devin Maines. And nowhere for Maines to go. If we back that up even further, I'm telling you, the 15 entered that corner in the 3rd lane. Like he drifted up to the 3rd lane in the middle, and then cut down and slowed down right in front of Devin Maines. And well, Maines just had nowhere to go.
That is pretty unbelievable.
To be fair, one sec. Zosiak called he was pitting that time, coming down the back straightaway. But you still just don't expect it whenever they run the top side of the racetrack. Even if I'm going to let you guys know, don't pit from the 3rd lane, even if you called it out. Don't, please don't cut down lanes. Just enter the bottom.
The success rate of pitting from the highest lane on the track is very low.
Yeah. Even if you call it out, you're putting people in a really bad spot. You can't blame
Devin
Maines.
Maines, top 10 car right there, running well. I believe, had he already pitted to this point?
No, I don't think so. And Zosiak hadn't pitted.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
I believe those are 2 top 10 cars.
They were running up there.
So green flag pit stops being issues for multiple cars.
Well, Zosiak obviously hadn't pitted yet. He was coming down pit road. But Maines might have pitted. Maines might have pitted already.
But Chris Vincent first into the barrels, and then we have that little incident of Kevin Zosiak coming down to pit road and Devin Maines getting into the back of him. You hate to
There's
see
my race
that.
pick. The commentators' curses are coming real. Darby, PB Henry, he's leading now, but the chopping block is coming for him here soon.
So who did this work out the best for? Kyle Gerlach, Mark Sanchez, Dakota Jorgensen, Jake Hickson, the guys that were still on the track. PB Henry obviously is our leader.
Everybody that was still on the racetrack and the guys that have the newest tires. The guy it didn't work out for is PB Henry. Yeah, he's in the race lead. He's got 7 lap older tires than everybody. He's got 10 lap older tires than everybody that is pitting under the caution flag. So PB Henry's actually the big loser in this. I know he's in the lead now. He will lose that soon. Causey, he's got a lap or two on his tires, so he's not in the worst spot. Still not ideal with a bunch of guys on fresh rubber coming up behind you now.
So what are we expecting here on this restart, Austin?
A lot of comers and goers because of the difference on tires, honestly. Henry might be able to keep the lead for a couple laps because he's still got some new in him. He might be able to hold off for a little bit until it kind of, the tire wear starts kicking in a little bit more towards lap 15, lap 20 of the tire run. So maybe lap 8 to 13 of the green flag run, he could start falling. With him having the clean air, if he can keep the clean air on the restart, I think he'll be okay for a couple laps. But after that, these new tires are going to eat him up.
So that definitely shook the field up a good bit as a lot of guys just took the wave around. And a lot of different strategies now as we're going to have, I believe, 46 to go when we take the green flag here. So the lights are off on the pace car. PB Henry will take us to this green flag.
And can anybody make it the distance on fuel from here? That is a question we'll have to wait and see. They're still out on the racetrack. If they were still out on the racetrack before that pit stop, they very well could. They were nearing that mark, if not just eclipsing it by the time that we had the yellow flag come out. So we'll have to wait and see. Can anybody make it 46? Will it be a splash and go, some two-tire fire, maybe some different strategies coming to life at the end of this thing. But the iRacing pace car getting ready to pull off as we come to lap 114 of 160. Some shuffling back further in the pack. It's PB Henry coming to the restart zone and back to the gas. That's what he needed. He needed to get clear to be able to hang on. He's got that. He's got the clean air. Now, can he hang on to it?
It's going to be tough for PB Henry to hang on to this lead. We've seen Joseph Causey drive from the back multiple times tonight. We know he's got a piece in that 88, but there's some new players up here. Kyle Gerlach running third as we are really fanned out, coming back from about 7th back on.
And Levine, it looks like, did get on pit road just in time before that caution flag flew because he's still running up in the top 5 on new tires, but they are racing hard back further in the pack, maybe some contact further back as they were just about 3 wide. Caleb Mitchell making up some places on the very outside in the mid-teens. Chris Hudson on the outside of Corey Saucier on in the 10th place spot through turns 1 and 2. A lot of racing outside of the top 10 or so. Oh, reckon! I believe it's Kenny Powell down to the inside wall.
Down to the inside wall.
Nobody coming further behind, so no yellow. Gonna get a replay to see what happened to Kenny Powell coming out on the exit of turn number 2, 3 wide in front. The 12 way further back in the fact that he's been all night. It ends up being 4 wide coming off the corner. Kenny did not know that they were 4 wide, started drifting up. And, well, it would be nice to have a 4 wide call in iRacing, but we don't. And there was a blink out there, so I don't know if we would have gotten it anyway.
Yeah, if you're familiar with trains, 1 through 15 looks like a train right now. Everyone is pretty much running the same lane. Everyone's single file. Not a whole lot of battles till we get back here around the 12th spot. Alan Phillips is side by side with, now it's going to be Kalen Mitchell. Excuse me, there is a lot of lap cars up here racing as I believe Chris Hudson is next to the 14 of Alan Phillips. That is for position. But a lot of jumble back up there.
Saucier almost lost it out of 4, and then a little bit further up, Chad Keeby making a move, but the 18 going backwards, 3 wide now. A couple of guys taking advantage of him as he has a moment coming out of turn number 4.
We have a position change for the lead. Joseph Causey cleared PB Henry in turns 1 and 2. And we have a new leader in Joseph Causey.
PB Henry only able to hang on for the lead for about 4.5 laps after he got the clean air. I underestimated the power of the new tires. PB was not able to hang on to the clean air as long as I thought. 4.5 laps for him. Now, how long can he hang on to the top 5? That's the thing. Can you hang on to your track position? Oh, the 28 with another moment. just a few moments ago. We saw him around backwards not too long ago. David Salter now stopped on the inside wall, and that's going to be his night done. Right now, through the field, I'm seeing a lot of tire saving. I'm seeing a lot of fuel saving. Finally, Levine to the inside of Mark Sanchez for 4th. Sanchez gives it to him quickly, and now side by side for 2nd. Henry on the older tires. He's a sit and duck, man. He's a sit and duck. Now he doesn't have the clean air to kind of keep him up there. Side by side with Gerlach for 2nd. What a race it's been for freaking Kyle
Gerlach coming from the last spot on the grid to racing for 2nd with that strategy call and that caution. I mean, he's having pretty much the best night you could have for starting 43rd.
He barely qualified for the freaking race. We had more than 43 people show up tonight, guys. We had more people try to qualify than there were qualifiers for tonight's race. Kyle Gerlach, the last guy in. Now he is cleared for 2nd place. What a drive from the drive of the 75 as he gets just a little twitchy, maybe not quite clear. He's going to leave a lane, but I think he's got it as we head down to 3. Levine looks like a man on a mission, might be able to go back to 3rd. But even if that happens, Kyle Gerlach, man on a mission, what a drive it's been.
Absolutely, and while all of this is going on, Joseph Causey starts to see all of that clean air in front of him and starting to see some more clean air behind him as he starts to pull away.
Yeah, as Causey's got the clean air and starting to stretch out a gap as Levine trying to get 2nd away from Gerlach. Down to the inside, still in a little bit of a battle between these 3 for 2nd. Gerlach's got him clear, just not able to pull away from Henry just yet, but Henry's still kind of in that sit and duck phase, just going to be a man on a mission, but that mission is dropping throughout the pack. Both these guys clear him now for 2nd and 3rd. And as they kind of single file out for the top 5, we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the racing action. When we come back, we're taking this thing to the checkered flag.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Spartans Master Series from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We've got the next 32 laps coming at you live here on Grid Vision to close this thing out. It's been a heck of a race so far, and right now the battle for the lead is starting to close up ever so slightly. Kazi had this thing up to 1.3 seconds over Levine after he got clear for second. He has slowly got that thing down to just about a second as we come off of turn number 4. And Jake Hickson, what a run from Jake Hickson, up from 17th to 3rd. He's starting to close the gap to the front two as well, not letting Levine get too far away. He's only 1.3 off the race lead.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in the top 10 right now that are having really good days. I think in part due to that last caution during the strategy run, but we've got Art Nicotera in 10th. He's plus 27 on the day. Dakota Jorgensen in 8th. He's plus 24. Mark Sanchez in 6th. He's plus 29. And the biggest mover, Kyle Gerlach in P4 is plus 39. Like we had previously talked about, a lot of big movers tonight.
Kyle Gerlach qualified 0.8 of a second off of the pole in last place and is now running in the top 5 on merit. That's pretty ridiculous night from the driver of the 75. I hope that it finishes that way. Hopefully no commentator curse from talking him up. But still some racing throughout the field. Caleb Mitchell, man, what a topsy-turvy night it's been for Mitchell. He's just trying to fight himself back into the top 10. He probably feels like he should have a top 5 or a chance at the race win, but we're seeing some pit stops here. 30 laps to go. In second place, Justin Levine coming down pit road.
Justin Levine, Charles Van Schaik, they're both down pit road. What kind of strategy we're going to see here? Are we seeing an undercut from Justin Levine? Is he going to try and get out there and see if he can't cut this time off of Kazi? We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how the field reacts to those pit stops as we have 28 to go.
And Justin Levine down pit road takes 4 tires. Not a 2-tire strategy or anything like that. Levine taking 4. Kazi stays out on the racetrack. So he's not responding to Levine immediately. Staying out on the racetrack. The thing is, I get the strategy from Levine, and it definitely could work out, especially, I was talking about this at the end of stage 1. You want to pit last unless there's not enough laps at the end of the race or the end of the stage to, make up the time. With 27 laps to go, if you give Levine 5, 6, 7 laps on the newer tires than you, if you're Kazi, you're not going to have enough time to run that gap back down. Finally, Kazi decides 2, 3 laps is enough. He decides to come down pit road and respond. I believe it was a 2-lap difference between Levine and Kazi.
Yeah, and we saw PB Henry come down pit road as well as Corey Moore the lap before. Now it's Kazi and Nick Schnell. They're down pit road trying to see what they can do on this last green flag run, hopefully. But Jake Hickson is your current leader with Kyle Gerlach behind him and Mark Sanchez in 3rd. As here comes Hickson, locks up, Gerlach locks up a little bit, and Mark Sanchez all down pit road at the same time.
Joseph Kazi coming out of pit road. Where does he blend? Does the undercut work for Levine? Can he pass him? Is Levine even anywhere close? Kazi coming out. Levine's not even freaking close. Kazi, with a 2-lap overcut, is going to gain time on Levine on the pit sequence.
That's pretty unbelievable that Kazi was able to gain that much time, but look at where they are. Nothing but traffic ahead, and, well, it's traffic for both of them, so we'll see how they're able to maneuver through this traffic. It looks like Kazi's going to have a little bit of a bigger problem immediately, as he is now 3 wide. But here come the other guys on pit road. Gerlach is going to overcut Justin Levine.
Holy cow. This is ridiculous.
I apologize. As I said that, Gerlach gets past. I believe that was the momentum coming down the back straight, but still impressive nonetheless, as here comes the 43 down
the 77. Road. The 77's around down pit road.
That is the 17 of Art Nicotera. sideways
17.
on pit road.
Well, we're on this pit cycle, though. This is the danger. If any of these guys that stay out long enough, catch a caution, which is possible with a lot of guys on new tires coming through, possibly wiping out guys on older tires or vice versa. It could trap a lot of people lap down where they got to take the wave around, and it could make it where our race leaders don't have a set of tires left to take. They can't come back down pit road, even if they're on the lead lap. To reset, they're going to have older tires. Levine has a huge checkup. Holy cow, Levine almost taken out from a huge checkup through 1 and 2. One of the race leaders almost taken out. Cameron King having a moment. But like I said, the strategy here, if a caution comes out, which I almost did right there, guys like Kazi, Levine, everybody that's pitted could be the odd ones out, because guys like Jorgensen, Mitchell, Zosiak, they could come down pit road, take their last set. Yeah, they give up a little bit of track position, but then they'd have 10 lap pressure tires than you.
Here comes Alan Phillips and Chase Johnson, I believe, down pit road now. So Joseph Kazi is gonna level back out to, I believe, P5, as we've got a couple of guys that have not come down pit road yet. We've got 21 laps to go. Can anyone go the full distance?
Now, I'm a commentator, so I'm not supposed to root for anybody, but I gotta be honest. I am rooting for a caution in the next 5 laps, because I'm rooting for a little bit of a shakeup. I would love the strategy that comes out of this. The different strategies that are being played right now, if it actually hits, if the jackpot, that caution flag flies, we could see a huge shakeup and a crazy restart at the end of this thing with less than 15 to go. But Zosiak, he's waving the white flag. He's pitting from 3rd place this time by. So only a couple of contenders left out there trying to pull off the impossible.
Zosiak getting on pit road much better this time from the bottom lane instead of the top lane. So he's going to come down pit road, assume that he's going to be taking tires and fuel to get to the end of the stage. Or the race, excuse me.
Still got a few of the front runners on the lead lap, the top 9 on the lead lap, even with Dakota Jorgensen staying out so far. And it looks like he's staying out at least one more lap as he's ripping the fence through 3 and 4 on the old rubber. Coming to 19 laps to go for your race leader. Got a good chunk of time, a big advantage on Joseph Kazi, who is running 4th right now. Does that caution flag fly and give guys like Jorgensen, Mitchell, and Powell a chance?
I think that Dakota Jorgensen and Caleb Mitchell definitely have a good shot at this. Kenny Powell, I think they'll honestly run him down. They're only 13 seconds back off of him compared to the 27 off of the other 2. So we'll see how they're able to manage that, but we'll see what they can do and if they can make this work.
It's going to take a yellow. It is going to take a yellow, but they would be in prime position to win this race if it did happen. They would have a pretty sizable tire advantage over the rest of the field. It would be 10 laps if it came out next lap that they would have over a good, basically everybody on the lead lap, except for Gerlach, who they'd have 7 over. So these guys are in a great spot, but they've got to catch that lucky caution, or else they're going to plummet, honestly. If they come down pit road, honestly, you got to take 2 tires. It's got to be a quicker pit stop just to get you to the end of the race, and just hold on and hope that you've got enough track position at the end of it to get a respectable finish. But your leader just found the fence in 1 and 2, got a little loose. He might be having to wave the white flag soon.
And now we can see the leaders are starting to get passed by some of this traffic from these guys that have already pit. Kenny Powell makes his way down pit road, so that's going to cut it down to just Dakota Jorgensen and Kalen Mitchell that have not pit yet. So we've got 15 to go in the race. Joseph Kazi and Justin Levine running them down as, yeah, I believe Levine is a 1.5 seconds off of Joseph Kazi right now.
11 cars on the lead lap. Kazi with the newer tires, so I just don't expect Levine to be able to run him down. Levine put himself in a spot where he really had to pass Kazi on the pit stop, and it wasn't happening. Jorgensen, your race leader, coming down pit road. He's calling it quits. Caleb Mitchell, the last guy, willing to give it a try. Still going to be 11 cars on the lead lap. Does the yellow flag come out for Caleb Mitchell, or is he going to have to come down pit road?
It looks like as the 67 of Caleb Mitchell goes to the bottom.
Going one more.
Doesn't take it this time. Gonna go one more at least. Justin Levine trying to see if he can't close down some of that gap in between him and Kazi. Here's the thing, you don't want to burn your tires off though, running Kazi down, because PB Henry and Kyle Gerlach are lurking right behind both of those guys.
I think Mitchell's calling it right here. He's down way to the inside in 3. So Caleb Mitchell calling it quits on the strategy. The yellow flag didn't fly for him. He's just going to have to pick up the pieces, come down to pit road, put on some tires, whether it be 2 or 4, I don't know. Only 13 laps left whenever he comes down and takes them. So I imagine maybe a 2-tire stop, maybe no tires, and just hope you hang on to it for long enough. Caleb Mitchell coming down at 67. Did not get the yellow he needed.
But our lead is going to cycle back out to Joseph Kazi in the 88. Restarted 14th. A couple cautions go after some contact with fellow one sim teammate Johan Seminario. And has stormed back to the front and taken it in kind of a relaxing way. Hasn't had too much difficulty.
Yeah, Kazi's put together a really, really solid back half of this race. And he's put himself in a really good position on the tires. There's a couple people that if a yellow flag comes out, they very well could come up and contend with them because they've got a little bit fresher rubber. And these restarts at the end of the race can just be insane, so you just never really know. But right now, not too much fighting out on the racetrack. And a lot of the battles get sorted relatively quickly now that a lot of guys are on, different tire strategies. There's different amount of good left in the Goodyear Eagles on everybody's tires out here, just from pitting a couple laps apart. So a lot of the battles get sorted very, very quickly at this point of the race.
Caitlin Mitchell, by the way, has cycled out to about 11th, so didn't lose as much as we thought they would. And is running right behind
tires.
Jared Feldman.
He didn't take tires. He didn't take tires.
Okay.
So
no tires.
He's going to drop. It's not like he's got 2 on there and he can go and contend. I think he should have taken 2. He probably would have been about even with Jorgensen right now, but he'd have some rubber to use. I don't think he holds on to that 2.5-second gap that he's got to 12th at the end of this race, but we'll have to keep an eye on Caleb Mitchell's finishing position to see how well that works out for him. Still 10 laps to go as Joseph Kazi crosses the stripe there. The only thing that can ruin this for Kazi is that dreaded yellow flag.
Yeah, Justin Levine right now, a second back from Kazi. He's going to need to gain at least a 10th, well over that, per lap if he wants to get there. It'd be close if he only got a 10th, but he wouldn't get there. He needs a little bit more, but he hasn't been gaining that so far. As here's PB Henry, Kyle Gerlach racing for P3. Jake Hickson just a little bit behind them for the 5th position.
To Jake Hickson was running up in the top 3 not too long ago, but through pit strategy, currently running in 5th. He has a little bit newer tires than PB Henry in 3rd, so maybe you can go up there and get him. Gerlach on the same tires as Hickson, so that one might be a little bit more difficult, but that very well could mean that Gerlach goes from 43rd to 3rd because he's got newer tires than PB Henry coming to the end of this thing, and he's only 2/10 off of him. The battle that we need to be paying attention to could be that battle for 3rd.
Yeah, I agree. I just think PB Henry has been really fast. I think Kyle Gerlach's in a really good spot with the tires, but it's going to be really tough. PB Henry up top has got a fast machine, so be interested to see how this plays out for the last 7 laps, but I don't think that Kyle Gerlach, I'm saying it now, I don't think that he can get the job done on PB Henry.
Oh, he might be able to because PB Henry's just put himself in the fence through 1 and 2. He's completely killed his momentum on the outside of the racetrack. It's not going to be much of an advantage, and Gerlach's going to clear him for third, 43rd to the top 3 for Kyle
Wow.
Gerlach. What a freaking performance.
That is, man, and we've talked about commentators' curse tonight.
Okay,
Just about every night, but man. Yep. Still 5 to go. PB Henry can come back on Kyle Gerlach, but I mean, wow. As soon as I say I'm calling it, I don't think PB Henry is going to give this up to Kyle Gerlach. He gets into the wall.
There was the commentator curse.
There he goes.
Oh, man. Well, he's trying to get it back, man. He's throwing it around the outside, down into 3. Trying to give it one more go, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Gerlach just is a little bit quicker. Oh, and PB Henry sideways out of 4. He hangs on to it, but that's going to do it for sure. I mean, Gerlach clearly into 3rd now. If this thing runs green,
and here comes Jake Hickson around the outside of PB Henry. PB Henry can't even defend off Jake Hickson. Jake Hickson clears him into turns 1 and 2.
Yep, PB Henry starting to struggle. Hickson up to 4th. Henry way off to the bottom out of 2. Continuing to struggle. He's just trying to hang on to the end of this race. He might be the yellow.
Whoa! Here comes the 21 of Wesley
goodness.
Woods. A lap down sends it. And now, just like that, PB Henry gets to the outside of Jake Hickson. Unbelievable move from the lap car, as here they're 3 wide in turn 1.
I just said PB Henry might be the yellow. It might not be his fault with the lap car on the bottom there shoving Jake Hickson up the racetrack. And now Hickson is going to have to give it another go. Did everything he could to get behind the first time, and he's going to have to do it all over again. 4 laps to go, 3.5 down the back for these guys. Kazi's still up in the lead. Levine's closing that in, so trying to make it a race for the lead at the end. Maybe Kazi's burning his stuff off too much. The lap car! The lap car's getting turned! The 21!
Jake Hickson turns.
What is he
Wesley
doing?
Woods.
What is the 21 doing? What the? I don't understand why he's running the top and then the middle, and obviously Hickson's coming off the corner. He's running a certain speed, but coming into, he just said on the chat he's trying to get in the pit, so that was the second guy tonight that tried to pit from the 3rd lane, so that's not ideal. I can tell you that right now.
Right in front of the 4th and 5th place car, Wesley Woods, the 21 machine, tries to pit while they're battling with 3 laps to go.
Well, they're talking about that caution. When does the caution come out? When does the caution come out? You know who's really upset they didn't take... Well, actually, you know who's really happy they didn't take tires right now?
Kayla Mitchell.
Oh, my
Back
God.
there in
Kalen Mitchell
14th.
has the biggest smile on his freaking face. Joseph Kazi has 25 laps on his tires. Justin Levine has 27. Kalen Mitchell is going to pit and restart 19th. We have 3 green, white checkers. 19th, don't get me wrong, that's not a great position. You're not in a great spot. You might need to have a 2nd or a 3rd green, white checkered. But man, 25 lap better tires. If Kayla Mitchell can get any type of run and rip around the fence here, I mean, he might be able to get up there.
Listen, that last lap for Justin Levine, who was gaining on Joseph Causey, was a 33.1, and his fastest lap of that stint was only about a 32.7. So it's about 5/10 roughly of fall off. So coming from 19th in 2 laps, do you think he can make it done?
I think he needs a 2nd green, white checkered. I
Okay.
really do. I don't think you can do it in 1. I think you got to dodge the wreck on the first one, pick up 5-10 spots on that first half a lap, 3/4 of a lap.
Corey Moore, Charles Van Shea, Kayla Mitchell, and Chase Johnson all pit. That is your positions 16th through 19th. Kayla Mitchell is going to come off pit road in 18th. So I believe we should keep an eye on all 4 of those guys and see what they can do. So I believe the highest position is going to be, of guys on fresh tires, is going to be Corey Moore in 16th. So we'll see how far they can get up through the pack here. But You also got to think, hey, Dakota Jorgensen is running P9 with, what, 2 fresh tires on that thing?
They're 12 green flag laps old, so they're 15 laps fresher than the leaders. So he should be faster than the guys in front of him, but marginally, not nearly the overspeed that Kalen Mitchell should have. But it should still be an advantage starting in 9th. If he picks the right lane, gets a little lucky with some momentum, he very well could present a challenge. And it looks like Kalen Mitchell is going to be restarting 17th. So from 17th on the grid on 4 fresh tires. I believe Van Schack came down too. Van Schack might be on 4.
Corey Moore as well in 15th. So I believe that will be our closest contender right there on fresh tires is going to be starting from 15th. Corey Moore.
Scott Schroeder too. Did he take 4?
I don't believe Scott Schroeder pitted, no.
Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. So Corey Moore, but Scott Schroeder's in between them somehow. But Corey Moore on 4. Corey Moore, Charles Van Schack, Kayla Mitchell, Chad Kibbe, I believe.
Johnson.
No, not Chad Kibbe.
I believe was the lucky dog.
Chase Johnson. Yeah. So, wow. We got some strategy, man. We got some strategy.
And now the field's bunched up. I mean, people are going to be throwing elbows around. We've got a race for the lead. Once again, Joseph Causey was really the one car that didn't want to see that, as had about 3 to 4/10 of a lead coming to the 3 to go.
Gotta be honest, I don't know if Levine wanted to see that. He's going to be starting 2nd on the outside, could get a bad jump. He's got older tires than Causey, and he was running Causey down at the end of that. You could say that was because Causey was running too hard at the beginning and maybe burned his stuff off, or you could say it was Levine trying to run him down for the race lead and burning his stuff off at the end. And if it was the second one that was the case, Levine's going to be a sit duck on this restart.
That's true, but it's going to be pretty chaotic nonetheless. Everybody's going to be throwing these cars around everywhere. People are going to be getting elbows out, door banging. It's going to be interesting to see if we can go all the way green on this first one.
Can we make it 2?
All we need is 2 laps. So
all we need is 1 lap.
Yeah, because then the flag will end. Any flag ends it after we take.
Well, we don't get another flag. There is no yellow.
You're right.
Come on, buddy. We're on iRacing. I know it's been a while since you've been on here, but
you are right.
But either way, we are coming down to what might be the final restart of the night. We got some tires deep in the field. Can they get through these guys? Do they get another restart to dice it out once again? Joseph Causey coming up to the restart zone. The 88 back to the gas pedal, back to the green flag. 2 laps to go from Homestead.
Joseph Causey with a phenomenal restart. The inside lane didn't really get going as Kyle Gerlach could not get to the inside of Justin Levine.
They're almost wrecking further back. One really sideways, huge checkup, almost 5 wide. Still sideways, wrecking towards the bottom. Getting spun to the inside. One to the inside wall, but everybody else still going straight. No yellow coming out. Super important detail up towards the front. Justin Levine for the race lead. Can he get it coming to the white?
Justin Levine trying to get a run off of 4. Doesn't look like he's got it, but he's going to look to the outside. Joseph Causey defending that inside lane. Is anyone else going to be able to get in the mix here? Justin Levine running the middle. Causey trying to paint that bottom white line. He's sliding up. Here comes Justin Levine off the corner. Causey gets a little loose. Are they going to be able to get side by side? Justin Levine gets the quarter panel as we enter turns 3.
Joseph Causey on the inside in that 88, trying to get his 2nd win. Levine on the outside, trying to get his 2nd. Causey's way too loose. Oh, it's almost the same exact thing we saw at the end of stage 1, and it's going to be Levine winning it the same way. Both stages, both go to the driver of the number 1 in the exact same fashion. A teammate nearly wrecking behind. Causey hangs on for 2nd, just like Johan did. And PB Henry from nowhere steals P3 back away from Kyle Gerlach on the final green-white checker.
To throw it in on top of that, Kyle Gerlach from 43rd finishes P4 tonight. And your 1 through 3 finishers entering tonight, points-wise, Justin Levine, Joseph Causey, and PB Henry entered the race 1, 2, 3 on points, and that's how they finished the race.
That's what you call consistency. That is for sure. But Justin Levine is doing his post-race burnouts, and as well, while we wait for them to get into our broadcast waiting room, we are going to go ahead and take our final step aside, and then we're going to come back for some interviews. Welcome back to the Spartan Masters Series. Here is our full field rundown. After the race from the Homestead-Miami Speedway, Justin Levine sweeps the stages and wins them both in the exact same fashion. Joseph Kazi saves it coming out of the corner, finishes second. PB Henry in third. Kyle Gerlach with a huge run up from 43rd to 4th. Chris Hudson in 5th. Mark Sanchez 6th. Jake Hickson, Dakota Jorgensen, Jarrett Feltman, and Kalen Mitchell round out the top 10.
Then in 11th, it's going to be Corey Saucier, Kenny Powell, Charles Van Schaik, Nick Schell, Corey Moore, rounding off your top 15, Daryl Klotz, Chase Johnson, Scott Schroeder back in 18th, Chad Kibbe 19th, and Kevin Zosiak running off your top 20.
21st is going to be Tom Ringer, 22nd, Evan Ethel, Kevin Zosiak in 23rd, Kyle Westwood and Jeff Chandler round out the top 25, Robert Besaw Jr., Chuck Burley, Wesley Woods, Art Nicotera, and James Staples round out the top 30.
Alan Phillips back in 31st, David Salter, Greg Wachinski, Devin Maines, Chris Vinson back in 35th, Jordan Sailors, my pick Johan Seminario back in 37th, Jay Salmon, Timothy Babcock, and Colby Jackson rounding off the top 40.
And for the last three finishers here tonight, 41st was Jeffrey Oaks, 42nd Sammy Harrell, and 43rd was Cody Curran in the Spartan Masters Series from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Next up, we got some interviews coming at you. It doesn't look like we've got our second place finisher in the Discord here tonight, so we're going to go ahead and pull up third place. PB Henry is going to be standing side by side with Gage Swan.
Hey, PB, you got a copy?
I certainly do.
All right, man. So, pretty interesting race here tonight. You started outside the top 10. What was your strategy going in for the race tonight?
To hopefully qualify better. That was kind of just a terrible, on my part. I thought I was going to qualify better. That way I'd be able to save and change my strategy a little bit. I didn't know if I was going to take tires in the first stage to get the stage points. I decided last second to, take the tires and get the stage points just because I'm so far behind already from Justin and Joseph. So I figured, what, I need the stage points. Might as well, get them while I'm up here. And went to the second stage, made a slight adjustment, and just kind of it took off. And next thing you know, I'm pitting from the lead, and we get a caution like 10 laps later that I did not need. I think if it wouldn't have that caution wouldn't have come out and we went green, would have been a completely different race. But either way, tons of fun tonight.
Yeah, that caution came at a very unfortunate time for you and very fortunate for some other guys around you. but you still managed to bring it back to a P3 finish tonight. We saw you ripping that top. Was that really the game plan the whole race, was to run the top, or were you guys moving around everywhere?
No, top kind of eats tires here for some reason, like more than it should. I wanted to be on the bottom the whole night, but when for some reason, I mean, well, we hadn't practiced up, the past week and up till, qualifying. The track just all of a sudden changed, and when it did, it kind of threw everything out the window, as far as what I was thinking and adjustments that I could possibly make, and it was just not what I was expecting, and so I just kind of had to drive a little different, adjust to the track, what was happening to the track. I don't know if it's just the extra rubber or what it was, but it was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, we can definitely see that from up here in the booth. The top lanes seem to be really fast and good for making moves, but guys didn't stay up there a lot longer. Later on, the run was really the guys that were faster were the ones that had been on the bottom the whole run. But you did a phenomenal job tonight. You ended up coming up in 3rd place. Is there anyone that you want to shout out?
Yeah, I gotta thank everybody here in Boise Sports. All the time and effort we put in over there. It's starting to slowly show, and hopefully we continue to get better. I gotta thank everybody at Bud K and my fiance and family. Can't thank them enough for letting me do this. And yeah, we'll keep on going.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, PB Henry. That was your 3rd place finisher tonight here at Homestead. I believe I'm going to give it back to Austin.
All right, PB, thank you for coming up in the booth. That was your 3rd place finisher, PB Henry, tonight. Like I said, we couldn't get in touch with 2nd place of Joseph Kazi. He's a little bit stubborn. He doesn't like to talk to us whenever he's a little bit of a wrecking ball. And he did wreck a teammate tonight, so it makes sense that the 2nd place guy would not show up to talk to us. But instead, more importantly, we have the race winner, the guy that made the move to do it on the last restart, Justin Levine. Man, where did that move come from? You were on older tires. You were running down Kazi as it was anyway. How did you have better tires than him at the end of this run to be able to pick him off like that? Because I thought there was no shot in hell with the older tires.
Honestly, I just refused to lose. I was going to drive that car until I wrecked it. I was pushing so hard that I was turning right off the corner every single lap, just taking away on him. And when that caution came out, my heart sank. I really thought people with fresher tires, or if they had one more set, was just going to go to the outside and blow past everybody. And on that restart there, I just wanted to make sure to be in Kazi's draft, and it looked like he was like a tight loose going into 1 and 2 there. And then anytime he went over to seam in 3 and 4, he was getting loose. That right rear was kicking out, and I knew if I could just get to his right rear, put a little air on him, I could pull him back, and somehow pulled it off.
Well, it was a hell of a move to do it. And like you said, your heart sank. I said it on the broadcast booth. I thought you were sitting duck. I thought there was going to be something that would happen. You on the oldest tires. I thought for sure you in 2nd were in the worst position out of the guys in the top 5, having the oldest tires. But somehow you were able to prevail, even without having the ability to jump the restart as the race leader. Stuck in 2nd place, sit and duck, able to pull it off. But other than that, was it funny to you that the stage 1 ending and the stage 2 ending were almost carbon copies of each other?
Yeah, especially racing my teammates and knowing how good they are, and us being all under the same house. I know it's going to be between the 3 of us for the championship, especially at the level that we're racing. We have the 2024 season still going on Saturdays, so this is basically an amp up, and between all of us always racing between each other, we just keep pushing each other to get better and better, and it's just so much fun. Like you see, it could be any of us. It's just who times it right and who's in the right position. It's unfortunate what happened to Johan. Would love to see 1, 2, 3, but great showing, and still 1, 2 in the end of the day.
It's crazy to see both stage endings. Had the 2nd place teammate being dead sideways, just about wrecking off the corner, but still able to come home in 2nd for both of them on both those stages. And you were able to come home with the stage 1 and stage 2 victory. So Justin, who do you have to thank at the end of this one?
Oh, you guys. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast. Dave for putting this on, and all the admins. One of my favorite leagues. Just love it. And Reichel performance. This car was super fast. and I can't thank them enough. All my speed comes from them.
We all put on a hell of a show for us tonight to be able to call, so hopefully the broadcast lives up to that, because the race out there was fantastic tonight. So thank you for putting on a good show, Justin, and thank you for giving us a little bit of time to come and talk to us up in the booth.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, Justin Levine, tonight from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Gage, it was your first time alongside me in the booth. How'd you enjoy it?
Man, I really enjoyed being up here in the booth with you and Darby. Just awesome job we did. I thought the race was phenomenal. It was really exactly what we had expected towards the beginning. Our keys to the race was lane management and tire management, and that's what we saw a lot of. People picking different lanes, like what PB said. The higher lane wore your tires off more. The bottom lane, it was a lot easier to keep some rubber on there, and we had some great finishes, some interesting wrecks, and yeah, I thought it was a pretty good time.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good time indeed as well. It was a pretty fantastic race from start to finish. Never really a dull moment, but that is going to do it here from us at Grid Vision for the Spartans Masters Series. And from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Justin Levine on winning tonight's race from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom standing alongside Gage Swan and Austin Derbyshire. We will see you next time on the Grid.